down to Key West. So that was an amazing testimony to you. Did you see our Florida Keys series where we talked about your railroad? Oh, I wanted to ask you, was your railroad dog friendly? So, let me see. Oh, okay. There you are. I don't know. Something popped on the screen there. I was having a conversation here with my friend Henry Flagler, and there's Bailey right there. So well, I'm going to walk you around St. Augustine. This is going to be even a little bit more than what we did a couple of days ago. We did it at evening time, but now it's daytime. You can see all the buildings. We're going to walk around daytime, and not only around St. George Street, but around a lot of the cross streets, the brick-laden streets. So we'll go through several streets. So we're going to show you a pretty detailed tour of St. Augustine. And I was talking there to my buddy Henry. I told him we'd see him at the end of the Key West video, that we would catch him again. Sure enough, I found him hanging out here, down here in St. Augustine. So let me put Bailey in my convenient Kurgo backpack. And if you're hearing me, chime in there. Let me know the audio is good. I think it's good. I tested it. So, and I'll start. I'm going to give you some tips too. Now that I've been here for a couple of days, I've gotten the hang of some tips. Oh, great. Hey, thank you there for letting me know the audio is good. So let me turn the camera around and I'll show you right where I'm at. So I'm not far from the visitor center here. Now this is the big parking garage in St. Augustine. And I've found it's pretty convenient. They let you know how many spaces are left. It's got a little over 1,000 spaces. And this is a good place to park. If you're doing the Night of Lights trolley tour, they leave from right there. So you park, and the garage moves pretty good, even though, you know, it gets very crowded in the evening. In fact, I would say if you're gonna park there during like real super busy weekends, or even during the week, this is like a weekend so far this week. You want to get there before 4 o'clock, because even those thousands of spaces can fill up early. But it is a good place to park. Another place to park that we'll talk about is at the fort, which is way down through there, but that's a lot, and it's a little parking lot, and you pretty much got to get there in the morning if you want to get a spot, because there's not many spaces. I see people riding around there, coming here like at 3 or 4 o'clock, and they pull in there, and then you get stuck waiting, trying to look for a spot, and there just isn't. So let me tell you where I'm at. I'm at this Potter's Wax Museum. Now, we went there yesterday. I was pretty impressed. It was better than what I thought. In fact, I think it's better than the Hollywood Wax Museum. They've got a lot of figures in there, from presidents to historical figures, even going back to the medieval times. So I'm not going to bring you in now, but I'll show you in the main video. So, but we'll bring you in there in the edited video. Hello, friendly people in there. But it's really, really good. Again, much better than what I expected. All right, so we're gonna start off on St. George Street, which is up here a couple of blocks, and then we'll take you through down the cross street. You heard the Old Town trolley there, just went by. Now, I did the Night of Lights tour last night, and I want to say it was really good. You know, I wasn't really crazy about doing it. Hey, good morning. Who's that? Nancy? Yeah, thank you for joining. You know, I wasn't excited beforehand doing the Night of Lights trolley tour, because, you know, I thought, oh, you're on this trolley and you're in all this traffic. What's the big deal? But I tell you, I was really impressed, being that they comped me a free ticket, and I had the whole road to myself, so it was cool. This isn't St. George Street, I don't think. It's up here, another block. But it was just so nice. Yeah, well, it's early in the morning now. It's not totally closed, because there's businesses that are open. In fact, let me bring you, this is the Bin 39 courtyard area. Bin 39 is like a wine bar, I believe. So I don't want to get too close, because there's copyrighted music in there, but we'll walk through here because this will bring us out on St. George Street. But this is a nice thing about St. Augustine. There's so many neat courtyards. And then that's St. George Street there up there in the distance. People taking Thanksgiving pictures. Now here's an Old Town Trolley booth. They have one of these booths at both ends of George Street. So we'll talk more about that trolley in a bit. But again, I highly recommend that Night of Lights tour. It was just awesome. So St. George Street is kind of the main thoroughfare. Well, it's a pedestrian street, but there's things off of St. George Street too that you want to check out when you're here. So, hey, good morning, Adam. Good to see you. So it looks a little empty. You know, one, it's Thanksgiving, but two, the mornings are a little empty because, especially last night, everybody was all up late with the Night of Lights displays. Again, some of this area I showed you in that live video a couple of nights ago when we went through here at night. This is the St. George Inn. Again, all these courtyards at night are just so beautiful. There's a second floor tavern that's up there. It's called the Milltop Cavern. And then there's all kinds of coffee, wine bars. They have great coffee here in St. Augustine. I just had some. If we go by that place, I'll show you some of the scenery. Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's a little empty. If you saw the video a couple of nights ago, it was extremely packed. And, you know, I'm not going to lie, parking is a challenge, and, you know, dealing with massive people is a challenge. But like we often say about Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, there's a reason why it's crowded. And this is, you know, of course, the most crowded time of the year before Thanksgiving. Now, Night of Lights goes all the way to the end of January. And if you want to see the lights, but don't want the super massive crowds, try coming in January. So it's a little empty now, but it's going to fill up because you're going to Gatlinburg in 3 weeks. Yeah. You know, I want to do Gatlinburg, Nancy, do a winter video, and I had even thought about it, hopping over there before I came here, but you know, I had some type of a little virus last week, so it was just recovering, and I didn't want to go in that super cold weather to possibly make me sick or something. So you see all the flags. One of the claims to fame with St. Augustine that it's been under, 8 different flags, from Spain to France to other republics, and of course, in the 1800s, the U.S. took control of Florida. And this is Bull and Crown, another restaurant that we're going to feature since the 90s. Oh yeah. Yeah, we did this in 2021 in January then, and I don't remember it being as crowded, or on the positive side, as lively and as many lights. You know, in that video, I really did not capture the full effects of Night of Lights. So I want to mention this restaurant here. This is the Waffle Whips. We ate here a couple of days ago. This is really cool. They got all these waffle desserts, but they also have what's called a homestead breakfast too. And that's where you eat there. So we'll show that in the edited video. But you grew up in South Florida, don't really care about St. Augustine history, but now you live in, yeah, just the atmosphere is great. Oh, was that? I want to make sure that wasn't one of the streets I want to walk down. No. So you got all these, well, there's outhouses there, but just an example of some of the brick streets around here. Hey, Ginger, good to see you this morning. Hope you're having a great Thanksgiving. And they have Auntie Annie's Cinnabon here. This place always smells really good. I'm just gonna walk in here and show you the courtyard. But it's gorgeous. You know, boy, if smell could come through the video, oh, it just smells great there.
I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah, we'll be back.
And one of you had recommended this Hippo Gourmet Ice Pops. You were saying that they have all these varieties of ice pops, and I do want to try that if I get a chance at some point. This is a Florida Cracker Cafe. It's pretty popular in the evenings. They got a big lighted courtyard. So we're coming up on, I think that's called Hippolyta Street. And we're gonna walk down that to show you some of the other streets that are off of St. George. This is the Columbia restaurant here. And this is a sister of the Tampa Columbia. The Tampa Columbia restaurant is the original Columbia. This is since 1905. This restaurant hasn't been here since 1905, but the one in Tampa is the one that started in 1905.
Now this section of the city is known as the Menorcan part of the city where Andrew Turnbull went to the Menorcan Islands. Now I gathered up some Menorcans of science and Greeks and he shipped them to summer to show them the girl plantations.
So for the Night of Lights trolley tour, by the same trolley, only at nighttime, they come through here too. It is just so gorgeous at night. I believe we're on Hippolyta Street. Hey, Sean, good to see you. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you too. Thank you, Sean, for joining the live. But last night on the trolley tour, you know, it just, you know, there's just massive crowds here. So I was thinking, you know, I wasn't gonna have much room to move around and film, and would be at the mercy to try to get a decent spot. Hey, Sean, good to see you. But I got a whole row to myself somehow. I mean, they knew that I was filming, but the person who was had you get on the trolley, I don't think he knew. So somehow I got the whole thing to myself. Yeah. So this is Spanish Street in Hippolyta. Yeah, I wanted to walk down this way. So you see this is another pedestrian street. And I think one block further south. Yeah, everyone is still sleeping. Yeah, because people were out here till late last night. And the nice thing about those Night of Lights trolley tour is just the atmosphere is so good. Everybody's singing jingle bells and all the Christmas songs, and it is just really good. So this is the Barley Republic pub. And then there's a bed and breakfast in, but you have all kinds of these gorgeous bed and breakfasts. I'll try to walk fast. So doing the Ghost and Gravestone tour tonight. And then going to, yeah, yep. Then doing the Schooner Freedom tomorrow night. That's one of the reasons why we're here. I wanted to be out of here by Thanksgiving, but there just wasn't no possible way to film everything. But to do that, I would have had to film the sailboat or ride on it yesterday, which yesterday the weather got real cloudy in the evening, and I wanted to show that Schooner Freedom on a sunny day. So here's a bagel shop that's here called Smeagol's Bagels. Let's see if they're open today. I could go for one of those. I don't know if they're open. So, you know, some businesses are closed, but a lot are open too. And then this is Cordova Street right here. And if you go down that way, that's the Flagler College, which is the old Ponce de Leon Hotel down that way. So yeah, parking is kind of an issue here, like I said. But you know, again, there's a reason why people love it here. The atmosphere is so good, so festive, just great for the holidays. But you know, if you allow yourself plenty of time, you'll be fine. You don't want to be stuck in a situation where you got to hurry and try to find a spot. You know, that's no fun. So I'm gonna try to move quick over this copyrighted music here. Oh, the weather. Oh, yeah. Thanks for mentioning the weather, Felicia. Yeah, it just got cooler. It's right now it's in the 60s, which is perfect. Maybe low 60s, might even be upper 50s. But today is the first day where it really dipped a little bit cooler. It's been very mild. Lows have been like in the upper 70s, or I mean lower 70s, upper 60s, highs in the mid 80s. But today, the weather just got cold enough to make it good hot chocolate weather. Oh, so this is the Medieval Torture Museum here. We're going to show that on the video. And I wouldn't recommend that for kids. There's a lot of gory stuff in there, but you know, they reached out to me and comped me an admission, so I figured I'd go in there and film it. So we'll show it on the video. And let me see what street I'm on now. I'm gonna back up here. So you are here, Hippolyta Street. And, I guess, is this St. George? So, you know, they got these barriers so cars can't come through here because in the evenings there's so many people here and somebody could do a lot of damage if they wanted to harm some people. So we're back on St. George. Oh, let me walk you in here. This is a little side mall. There's 18 shops in here. This is called St. George's Row. There's a restaurant down at the end here. Most of these are not eateries, but they're just souvenir shops and jewelry shops. And, what's the name of that restaurant? I don't remember, but it's at the end of St. George's Row. Oh, and welcome, JSL. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you too. So we also did the Old Town Jail yesterday and the oldest store. Both were good. You know, but I even like the oldest store even better. They have the store that's set in 1905. Mr. Hamlin, I guess, was a guy who was friends with Henry Flagler. So when Flagler built this railroad, Hamlin set up a lot of stores along the railroad route. So what's cool about the oldest store is you see some genuine, the schoolhouse worth going in. I don't know, I haven't been there, Nancy. Nancy's asking about the schoolhouse. I'll have to check that out. But in the oldest store, you see what people were buying back then, and they give you the price of things. And it is fascinating. I found it even more fascinating than the oldest jail. So they're all in that same little area there next to the jail. You got the oldest store, you got a tea and spice shop that's there. So I'd recommend doing the oldest store too, if you're gonna go over there next to the old jail. So we're walking out to the main boulevard where the linear mall is at, of all the lighted trees. Of course, it's very dog friendly here. Most of the shops will let you in with your dog. Ain't that right, Bailey? Ain't that right? What do you think of St. Augustine, Bailey? She's met a lot of dogs there, so she's liked it. So here's another little strip mall. Oh, you know, I didn't realize there was two of these, so let me go down this way. There's 24 shops in here. Oh, this is the one that I went down earlier. I don't know what the name of this little strip mall is. Old Schoolhouse is cool, historic, very short tour around the property. Okay, so is that old schoolhouse, is that near St. George Street or on St. George Street? Yep, Bailey is right back with me. Bailey's usually always with me unless I'm on a jet ski tour or a helicopter tour or something like that. So oh, Barefoot Bill's is the restaurant that's at the end of this. And they have an old time portrait place here. So if you want to get some pictures there, that's their setting. Some family pictures. Okay, the old schoolhouse is on St. George. And there's an art gallery here. So, all right. So that, I'll try to get the name of this little mall I'm in. But just curious, how much does Bailey weigh? Yeah, Bailey weighs, now I think she's about 14.4 pounds, something like that. And this backpack can hold up to 25 pounds. Now this is the Kurgel small backpack. It holds 25 pounds. And just to note, it's got two large pockets in, one to hold your gear and one to hold the dog. I actually put Bailey in the pocket that's for your gear, and the dog backpack, the dog compartment, I use for my gear. The reason why I do that is because the packet that is for your gear sits closer to your body. So the center of gravity, to me, is better to just let her hang her paws out the front like that. So, but I love it. You know, I've had other backpacks, and when you use it as much as I do, you want something that's durable. And the Kurgel, it's called a Kurgel G-Train backpack, I've found is best. You know, when I did that Florida Keys series, I lost my cargo backpack. So I had to go about 4 days without it, using my backup backpack. Oh, hey, Mike and Jana, good to see you from Texas. And so I ordered one on Amazon while I was in the Keys, and fortunately got it before I got to Key West. And I was so happy to have my cargo backpack back. So I can never think of this main road. Yeah, this cathedral place. And then the Ponce de Leon Hotel or Flagler College is down that way. You can see the steeples up there. So this is the main plaza, of course. You know, it's nothing in the daytime, but at nighttime, this place is so gorgeous. And what the trolleys do, the trolleys, you know, they'll cut back through that Hippolyta Street that we were walking down, and then they'll come out down there, and then they wind down around through the Leitner Museum, which is the old Alcazar Hotel that's right across the street from that. You can't see it because of this building. And then the trolleys will come up that way and around the park, and then come back down here. And so you get a great view of this park when it's all lit up at night. And then that's the Lions Bridge over there that leads to, I was going to say Volano Beach, but it's not. That leads to where the lighthouse is at. Oh, and I want to talk about the boat tours too. So we're going to feature 3 boat tours on here. 2 of them, the Schooner Freedom and the Pirate Ship, they depart just kind of to the right of the bridge over there in that little marina. Now, the issue is the parking over there, because if you're coming during prime season like I am, it's hard to find a spot. So yesterday we took the ferry catamaran. We took the Dolphin cruise, but they also have the Night of Lights cruise, and they have the Sunset cruise. On the Sunset cruise, you get a little tour of the Night of Lights. The Sunset cruise right now, this time of year, departs at 4:15. And then they also have one later at 7:15 that's purely, you know, when it's all dark and purely Night of Lights. But I like the Sunset cruise is great because you see, you start off in the daytime at around sunset, you get a great sunset, and then they wind around. As it gets dark, you see the Night of Lights along that boulevard there, Avenida de Menendez. I think that's the boulevard that wraps around the front, the waterfront. And those lights are just, I mean, those streets have massive, massive many lights, and it's all lit up. So it's good to see. Now, again, you want to see that on the trolley, but also it's good to view that from the boats. As you're seeing the video, from the boat, you see the reflection of the lights off the water as you're looking at them. So it gives you a little bit of a different perspective. So we're back on St. George Street. We're going to cut east on that Hippolyta Street again. This is Prohibition Kitchen on the right. They also have a little mini restaurant that's somewhere close to here, within walking distance too. I mean, this is also a restaurant where you can, they're basically a bar and grill where you can get food. And I see that they have their agenda there in the shape of a piano. So I was wondering if they might be like a piano bar, a dueling piano bar. Seems like that would be a Prohibition Kitchen, that name, that they might have dueling pianos. Oh, hey. Yeah, hi. They knew Bailey's name, so I guess they must be followers. Oh, I'm pretty close to the old schoolhouse, and you said it is on St. George. Okay, well, let me walk back that way, because, you know, I've filmed about 90% of what I need to film here, maybe even 95%. So today's kind of a free day. So I have time where I could go film something again. Sure, no, not from St. Augustine. I'm on the other side of the Florida peninsula. So the old schoolhouse is up here. Well, actually, let me go up Hippolyta first, and I can always Google that old schoolhouse. So the old town trolley, of course, they do day tours too. But I'll tell you, if you're gonna do that, do it at night. Oh, a little further on your left. Okay, back there. Okay, yeah, I may wander around back there and check it out. So this is DJ's Clam Shack here. And it looks like they're open today. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's bells ringing in the distance, church bells. Cookie Crush. Well, it looks like they have another Hippo Gourmet Ice Pop here. So I guess there's a couple of them. And this is Charlotte Street we're approaching. This runs parallel with St. George Street. And I think I do want to walk down here. Which way do you all want to go? So if we go that way, that leads to the Fort Castile. Oh, there's a shipwreck museum there. It's kind of a smaller museum, not as big as the shipwreck museum in Key West. Here's a gorgeous bed and breakfast called the Inn on Charlotte. And then next to that is the Hemingway House. A little bit different from the Hemingway House in Key West, but looks like the same shape, just it's much smaller. So you can actually stay in the Hemingway House in St. Augustine. And then this is the Casablanca Inn. Oh, what did we just pass here? I think that's an inn. I know that it's a restaurant. The Avalise restaurant. Yeah, so this leads, there's a big garbage area over there, so I'm gonna walk back this way. Oh, the filming is fuzzy. Yeah, that's probably because of the Wi-Fi. It isn't because of the camera. The camera is actually filming in 8K, but YouTube's live, I think, only allows up to HD, and then with the Wi-Fi that can affect it too. So, but thanks for letting me know that. So let's walk out here to the main road. And you see the Lions Bridge there in the distance. So I'm gonna show you a little bit the fort. In fact, let me go ahead and cross the street. It's not busy. No. So that's the parking lot, really the only big parking lot in this part of Old Town. And I'd say there's maybe 50, 60 spots there. So trying to find a spot there in the evening, forget it. Yeah, pretty much if you're coming here in the evening, I would recommend this time of year or on weekends to arrive in the Old Town area no later than 3 o'clock. In fact, if you can, 2 o'clock. Allow yourself plenty of time. Now, if you park in that parking garage where we started at, that place, even during peak periods, it can fill up. It's got 1,000 spaces. Let me see, what's this here? Casablanca Inn. Oh yeah, this Nero's Waterfront Cafe. So, no, I actually, no, as far as family, I have cousins way on the other side of the country, so around here don't really have a family. But, I got my church family that's pretty much my family. Now this place is just super lit up. You'll see we've done a lot of drone shots, and this boulevard here is just so lit up. It's unbelievable. Prohibition Kitchen is a large 2-story restaurant with most nights they have different, and I couldn't read that before the comments went off the screen. Yeah, I went inside on the edited video. I'll walk inside that Prohibition Kitchen, and then when I edit the video, I'll try to do research on it, see what they offer. So today is a mostly cloudy day, which is why I'm just kind of chilling today. Not doing much filming. Gonna be going through my footage and make it quicker. So when I get back to Tampa on Friday to edit, I had wanted to get this up by next weekend, but that's going to be very challenging. Oh, pianos. Okay, yeah, I saw that comment came back up about the Prohibition Kitchen and the pianos. So I had wanted to post this video by the following weekend, but like I said, that's going to be very challenging. Oh, no pianos. Okay, so yeah, so that Prohibition Kitchen, there's no pianos. Yeah, editing is very tedious, and this. These videos, I start off thinking, oh, I can do it, I can edit in a week, and then, partially is because the businesses have been cooperating here. And with this, I didn't decide I was coming here now until Sunday morning. I was really doing it based on weather. And the weather next week was going to be more cloudier than the weather this week. So I made a last-minute decision to come here on Sunday. So as a result, I was contacting these businesses, most of them, on a Sunday. And this is their busy season, so at first wasn't getting a whole lot of responses, but then they all started contacting me and then offering the boat tours. And then I got a hold of Historic Tours of America that we did in the Key West video, and the lady, their marketing girl, Jessica, she got a hold of it, and she really hooked me up with all the trolley tours, the old jail, and a lot of the attractions. All right, so I'll leave this live on. Probably walk back down St. George Street or one of those streets. So you might see some of the things we saw earlier, but might as well just leave it on. So this is the Cathedral Basilica St. Augustine that we're just walking by. Oh, gonna have, I contacted the Alligator Farm, and they didn't want to offer me a free ticket. They just said it was just super busy right now. So, but I did contact them, and they were good enough to get back with me, so that was good of them. So yeah, so the Alligator Farm won't be on this video, but there's going to be a lot on this video, so much more than what was on the previous video. We're going to take you to the Anastasia State Park. Yeah, I don't know why, because it's just me, just one ticket. And I probably would have left Bailey in the truck while I filmed that, so, but, oh well. But, but some of these businesses, when I contacted them, they never respond at all. So at least they were good enough to respond. But there's going to be so much on the video. Oh, looking for the old schoolhouse. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, keep watching. I'm back on St. George, so I'll try to find that old schoolhouse. Oh, you can feed the gators for 25 cents at the alligator place here in St. Augustine. Yeah, so we're going to show you Anastasia State Park. Of course, we're going to show you all around Matanzas Pass, and at Fort Matanzas, what it is, you go to the visitor center for Fort Matanzas, which is on A1A. Hey, Sean, been here when you were 13 and again at 29, same price. Yeah, so Fort Matanzas, now Matanzas Pass is about a 15-minute drive south of here. And you can visit Fort Matanzas, and it's free. What you do is you park at their visitor center, which is on Highway A1A, and the fort is actually across the Intracoastal Waterway. So they have a free ferry that takes you across the fort. Schoolhouse is all the way down near the city gate. Okay, that's good to know. So that's one thing to do that's free here, and you get a free little boat ride across the Intracoastal Waterway. I was going to do it if I was like in a hurry on Monday, and I only had so much time, and they didn't have any available tickets at a time when I needed to do it. So I'm not going to take you on that ferry, but we're going to show it by drone and give you all the information for it. But that's something it's worth doing. Heck, it's free. So we're walking by Sangria's Wine and Tapas Bar. Oh, and hotels. So, you can stay, in our video 4 years ago, we stayed at the Marion Motor Lodge, which is a great location because It's right across from the pirate ship and schooner Freedom and the boat tours are in that part of St. Augustine. So, and one reason why I stayed there 4 years ago is because of the parking. You got a parking lot right there, so you don't have to worry about parking. So that's the advantage. The disadvantage is the hotels right around here in walking distance. They're going to be more expensive. Look for Big Ship Anchor on your left for the old schoolhouse. Okay, got it. Hello, good. Happy Thanksgiving. So there's a group of budget hotels that's about 7/10 to maybe a mile away from here, which is where I'm at. I'm in the Days Inn. You know, I'm part of the Wyndham's rewards, so I do that to get my Wyndham points. And it was cheap. For the weekdays, it was just under $75 a night. Now, getting into the weekend, it's a little over 100, but I was able to use my points when it gets expensive. Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you there. I didn't see the name, but thank you for saying that. Yeah, so with the hotels, you want to save money, you can stay in those hotels are about a mile away. And a mile, you know, you could walk here, but then you're going to do a lot of walking around, like you see I have done on this video. So as a result, you probably want to drive and park. So that's the disadvantage to those budget hotels. But you still probably end up saving money in the long run by just paying. It's $20 a day for parking in that parking garage, or in the lot there at Fort Castile. So, but the hotels around here, on average, you're going to pay about 3 times more to be in the historic district, and especially some of these bed and breakfasts can get really pricey. So you'll still probably end up ahead if you're on a budget, want to stay in some of those budget hotels. They got a Hampton Inn. I'm at the Days Inn. They got those hotels there, and they aren't very far. They're just getting 7/10 to a mile away. But then you got to pay for parking if you want to come down here to Old Town. Now, this is the seafood company. One of these is kind of like a counter-served restaurant. I wanted to eat here. Maybe if they're open today. I don't know if they're open, but that's one thing Will said. They lack counter-served eateries. So, if you don't have a whole lot of time, you just want to pick something up, you can't. You kind of got to sit down at a restaurant, and there can be a long wait. So I think St. Augustine, like Gatlinburg, could use a few more counter-served eateries. I did eat there's a pretzel place. I forget what the name of it. It's on St. George. Get these big and they had a dog in a pretzel, and it was really good. But there's not a whole lot of counter-served eateries. So, am I getting near the old schoolhouse? Oh, this is it. This must be it. So this is the old schoolhouse, right? Yeah. All right. Yeah. So thanks for tipping me to the old schoolhouse. All right. So I think I'm going to go ahead. I wanted to see if I can find that coffee place where I went earlier. All right, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and close out the video. So that should be pretty good. Give you a little walk around St. Augustine. So I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving, and Pray for those two National Guard soldiers who were shot yesterday. Pray for the healing. That was sad. So anyways, hope you all have a great time Thanksgiving with your friends and families. And there's Bailey right there. Yes. And we're going to go and work on some of the footage and maybe do a little more filming. So, all right. Thank you. Blessings to you wherever you're at from St. Augustine.